Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see an example of crossover condition but with two different formulas. The output will be the same but the formulas will be different. So one is basically a crossover condition with a position keyword and the other one is basically with the cross keyword. Alright, so the output will be the same. As you can see, the traits will also be the same since it is the same supertrend crossover that we are going to try. But the reason of creating this video is to explain the output, that in the notification log you will see that when you use the position keyword you will be able to see the values differently as compared to the cross keyword to identify whether the condition has been met or not. Alright, so as you can see over here, first of all, if you can see, this is the trade that has happened of option index, Bank Nifty 37,100 call and 35,800 put. Even in this strategy it traded the same strike, 37,100 call and 35,800 put, and the trades were also exactly the same at the same time. So as you can see, the entry was at 11:35 for call and exit was at 1:50 p.m. and over here also the entry for call was at 11:35 a.m. and 1:50 p.m. was the exit. Also on the put side, the entry was at 1:50 p.m. On the put side in the same strike, and exit was at 3:01 p.m. and also over here the entry was at 1:50 p.m. and exit was at 3:01 p.m. Alright, so as you can see, even the PNL in this case is matching because it's the exact same trade that has happened but with different conditions. So let's just see the first keyword, that is through position, how the crossover condition is getting built. So in this case I will just open the edit page of the strategy. So this is the crossover with the position keyword. So in this case, as you can see, it's a very simple formula for crossover, where basically first of all we are checking whether the time is between 9:25 and 2:58 p.m. and then the net quantity of set number 111 and set number 211 should be equal to 0. That is basically there should be no open position when we are taking a trade on either side, because if there is an open position it can clash with the existing quantity. So this is a very important keyword, net quantity traded instrument name, and I personally use it in all of my strategies and all of my entry sets. So ideally you should also use it in order to restrict any kind of unnecessary entries or exits in the strategy. All right, so over here if you see, this crossover condition is built over here where we see position close of 5-minute candle on Nifty Bank spot previous candle is greater than the super trend value of 5.2, super trend value of 5.2 on the previous candle. So over here the close of the candle is greater than super trend value in the -1 candle, and in the -2 candle over here the close of this of the candle is less than the super trend. So basically -2 candle is below and -1 candle is higher. So that is basically the upside crossover, right? But this is with the crossover with basically the position keyword. And over here what we are doing is we are buying a certain call with premium of say 60 rupees, all right, for the current week. Similarly, we are just exiting this particular call option whenever there is a downside crossover. That is whenever we see that the particular formula, the crossover happens, close is less than the super trend value. That is exactly the opposite of the entry condition. Then this case, this will be a downside crossover where close of the -2 candle is greater than the super trend, but close of the -1 candle is less than the same super trend value. All right, and this, the exit condition of set number 1 will essentially be the entry condition of set number 2. So set number 2, as you can see, the initial formulas are the same, that net quantity of 111 and 211 should be 0 and the time should be so and so. And the exit condition of set number 1 was the same, that the close of the candle should be less than the super trend in the -1 candle, and the close of the super trend in the -2 candle should be greater than the super trend value. All right, so this is basically the downside crossover, and whenever the downside crossover happens, what we are doing is we are buying a put option of certain say 60 rupees value. All right, so that is what we are doing over here. And the exit of the second set is also basically the upside crossover. So that is how the crossovers work, right? Whenever there is an upside crossover you buy, whenever there is a downside crossover you sell. All right, so that's what is happening over here. And now we will move to the cross keyword. All right, so this is the cross keyword example. So over here we will see what kind of strategy formulas we have built. So this is the cross keyword formula. So over here, instead of using positions keyword, we are using the same conditions such as the time and net quantity of 111 and 211 is equal to 0. But we are using the position keyword over here, where cross keyword over here, where we are using position cross. All right, and under that we are saying that the close of Nifty Bank 5-minute chart should be greater than super trend on a 5-2 parameter for the -1 candle. All right. So when you use this particular formula, there will be a different notification log that will be generated that we will see. So this is basically the upside crossover where we are buying a similar call option of 60 rupees value on the upside, and whenever there is a downside crossover that happens, it should exit. But this is also under position cross keyword. All right. Now also if you see the set number 2, this is basically the downside crossover that we have built over here. This is the basically the super trend is greater than the close of the 5-minute candle of Nifty Bank on a -1 candle. That is the reason why this is basically the downside crossover. All right. After this, we will also see that over here we are buying the put option in Strike FX of 60 rupees value. All right. So basically in both the strategies, the concept is the same, the formulas is the same, just that the syntax that we use is basically different. So in the first strategy we used position keyword, and over here we are using cross keyword. All right. So let's just go to this particular trades to just see what kind of trades it has taken, and according to that we will see what kind of trades the strategy has taken and what kind of notification log it's generated. So let's just see for position keyword. So over here it has taken a trade at 11:35 and exited at 1:50, and at 1:50 it has taken a put entry and exited at 3:01 p.m. So we will see at the time of entry on either side what kind of notification log it's generating. So over here, as you can see, this is the entry satisfied at 1:50 p.m. for the put side, right? So let's just see what kind of condition was met over here. So over here we can see that the net quantity of so and so was 0, and the position close of -1, all right, was 36437, and the position super trend of -1 was basically 36569. All right, so that is basically, this is lower, -1 is lower than the super trend value, and on the -2 candle this is basically higher, 36503, the close is higher than the super trend value. So that is when there is a short crossover, right? That is basically whenever the close is below the super trend value in the previous candle, -1 candle, then that's a downside crossover. All right, so that is when this condition was met, and we can verify this through these values that are generated for each parameter. So this is for -1 position close, this is the value that is generated. For position super trend -1, this is the value that is generated. For position close -2, this is the value that is generated, and for position super trend -2, this is the value that is generated. So from here we can see whether the actual crossover has happened or no. All right, and based on that it has taken the trade. Now let's just see crossover keyword, for which the syntax is slightly different. So over here in the notification log, if you see, for crossover keyword we do not get the values. However, what we get is this, either whether it's true or whether it is false. So whenever this condition is true, then only it will basically mean that there was a crossover condition which has been fulfilled, and because of that it has taken the trade. So as you can see, there is a difference in this keyword notification as compared to position keyword, because the position cross will only give you, it's basically the same formula where the short side condition is satisfied, where the super trend is basically higher than the close candle and the -1. So that means that it's a downside crossover, which is condition is true over here as we saw in the position keyword strategy also. But over here we are not getting the values. What was the value of the super trend when the crossover happened? So when you're using cross keyword, this can be a small drawback, that you will not be able to identify with live data what kind of values were generated based on which it took a trade. It can only tell you whether it's true or not. So that's why it's at times it's better that you use the position keyword, because over here you will actually be able to understand based on the values what kind of values were actually generated for each and every formula that you have written based on which the certain trade was taken. All right, so that was the whole point of showing this difference to you, so that you understand that even though the trades were the same, even though the PNL was exactly the same for both the strategies, still the notification log was different, and at the same time it's better to have more data in the notification log through which you will be able to debug your strategy. So that's why using the position keyword for crossover is at times ideal. All right, so I hope this video was useful and you will take advantage of this. Thank you.